Hello, we are going to work on simplifying expressions today. So here is an expression and just some important information when we are looking at expressions, some words, some vocab to introduce you to. First of all, this expression has what we call terms, and each term is separated with either a plus or a minus. So just to make this a little bit easier to look at right here, this expression has four different terms. 4.8, a plus 2.2w, a minus 1.4w, and a plus 2.4. Now, one of the cool things about expressions and simplifying them is that we are allowed to take terms and combine them with other like terms. So like terms are terms that have the same variable to the same power. Or in this case, we actually have some of them that don't have variables at all. We have like this 4.8 here and this positive 2.4. We can take those terms and we can combine them. We can, in this case, add them together. 4.8 and 2.4, that's 7.2. And these other two terms I have here are also like terms. Now when I am drawing this out, I like to do different type of symbols. I like to circle, put boxes, underline, something that shows me that they are different. So I'm going to put boxes around these two terms right here. My terms with my W's. Now, one thing that I need to make sure we pay very close attention to is whenever we have these coefficients here. A coefficient is the number that is in front of the variable. In this case, we have a 2.2. And even though when we read this problem, we treat this like a minus 1.4, we can also treat that like a negative as well. So we have a couple options here. We could say this is a 2.2 minus 1.4, or we can treat this like a 2.2 plus a negative 1.4. And it's kind of up to you of which of those you want to do, because remember, adding a negative is the same thing as subtracting a positive. So I'm going to treat that like a negative here since it's going to make this problem a lot easier. We have a 2.2w, a 1.4w, and all we do is we take those coefficients, in this case we're going to subtract them. 2.2 minus 0.4 is 0.8w. Remember that 7.2 we had was a positive, so we make sure there's a plus in between those. And that's it. I cannot combine these. I would not have an 8w or just an 8 because they're different terms. One of them has a w and one of them does not. So we cannot combine them with each other. Now I have a second one here, and this one here has a couple different things involved in it. This one actually has three terms. N plus n, and a minus 0.18n. Now, one of the reasons why I included this is because even though they're all like terms and we can combine them, this one still gives people some trouble here because we don't have coefficients in front of our variables. There's just an n and an n, and it confuses people sometimes because what is really going on there? So if I have an n, think about this, n, how many are there? Well, there's one of them there. There's an imaginary 1 in front of that n right there that we cannot see. Because if I said I have one n, 1 times the n is just n. So in this problem right here, what we actually have is not just n plus n minus 0.18n. It is actually 1n plus 1n minus 0.18n. So when I'm combining my like terms here and I'm adding my coefficients or adding, and then in this case subtracting them, I need to remember that I cannot just ignore the ones that are just n by themselves. I need to treat them as if there's one there and one there. So 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 minus 0.18 is 1.82 n. And that is it.